rock to this beat.
Welcome to another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I am your boy, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I really do appreciate it. Every like, every comment. If you're watching the video, just hit that subscribe button. It really helps your boy out. You are now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your boy, Captain Will. We got a good one today, y'all. We talking about my favorite player on South Carolina Gamecocks women's basketball team. We talking about Raven Johnson. My favorite player on South Carolina's team is Raven Johnson. It's not a secret. I love talking about her. I love her game. I love how she rocked in high school. I love how she overcame an injury. I love Raven Johnson's game. When I spoke with her last week at the Under Armour Elite Invitational, Raven Johnson sat me down and we talked about 8 to 9 minutes about basketball, about overcoming injury, about what's going to go down in the upcoming season. And what resonated with me is what she said. She's on a revenge tour. Now, revenge tour can mean a lot of things. But what Raven is saying, that she's been putting in the work. She's been working hard. She's been improving her game. She's overcome all the obstacles that was set in front of her. I don't know how many of y'all have been through a severe injury. But there's a big difference of being hurt and being injured. Raven Johnson was elite, sensational, unbelievable in high school. She was rated the second best player in the 2021 class. Second, the best point guard in the 21 class. Came in that year and there was whispers that Raven was going to start for the Gamecocks that year. Well, she got injured early in the season. Not hurt, injured. Well, she tore her ACL. Now, for those of you have torn an ACL, for those of you have torn a PCL, an MCL, you know the rigors of rehab. You know how tough it is mentally to get back to the type player that you are. Okay, so we fast forward from that 2021 early injury to the rehab, because I talked to someone before. I said, like, yo, this is the first offseason that Raven Johnson has not been hurt. I'm like, look at you. They look at me like, what are you talking about? I said, dude, this is the first season she hasn't been hurt. She got hurt in the 2021 season, early in the season, December timeframe, rehabbed, so that offseason of 2022 was not working out. That was rehabbing. So last year when she came into the season, she didn't have an offseason. She had a training camp, if you will, but you saw how she played early in the year with that big bulky knee brace on. She was not trusting the knee. The training staff was not trusting the knee. That was not Raven Johnson early in the year last year. It wasn't. Over the course of time of last season, you saw her get rid of the knee brace. You saw her trust the knee better. But last season was not Raven Johnson, y'all. It takes a year to get over ACL injury. For some, it takes longer mentally to get over it. This offseason was the first offseason that Raven Johnson has been healthy as a Gamecock. And we saw what it looks like. We saw glimpses of what it looks like in the America tournament. We saw glimpses where she was a starter, where she played within the system, where her physicality and her fitness was on full display. Raven Johnson is in tremendous shape physically. Talking with her, Raven Johnson is in tremendous shape mentally. She is ready for the season. She wishes the season will start now. She is that ready. She said that she watched the game against Iowa over and over and over and over, whereas the coaching staff had to tell her to stop watching the game. She has worked hard. Everybody keeps saying she needs to shoot more jumpers. She needs to shoot more threes. Blah, 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 blah. I want y'all to Google. Take the time. If you're watching No Cap Wood, after this goes off, go Google Raven Johnson, her senior year in high school. Please do. This is the Raven Johnson that you will see this upcoming red shirt sophomore season. This is the most confident player going into the season that the Gamecocks have. She is ready to be great this year, offensively and defensively. I love a point guard who could shoot threes. I love a point guard who has range. I love all of that. I love the era of the three-point ball. It's exciting. It is exciting. It is something to see. We love seeing these logo threes that some of these players are shooting. But you know what I love even more? I love a player who is all around. I love a player who can pass the ball. I love a player who makes the right play. I love a player who plays defense. That's the type player that Captain Will love. That's the type player that Captain Will enjoys watching. That is the player that Raven Johnson is. An all-around player, an all-around point guard. Will she shoot more? Yes, she will shoot more this season. Yes, she will shoot more this season. The offense will be more perimeter this season than in past seasons with Don Staley. Because although we have Kamilla Cardoso, who I believe is going to be a dominant, one of the most dominant players in the country this year. And we have Sania Feigin, who's probably one of the most offensively skilled players in the country this year. We have an abundance of talent on the perimeter, something that we did not have this past season and the season prior. We have a Raven Johnson. We have a TeHina Paopao. We have a Malaysia Fulwiler. We have a Bree Hall. We have a Tessa Johnson. We have a Chloe Kiss. We have all these players on the perimeter who can score the basketball, some with ease. So you will have a player like Raven Johnson triggering the offense, who is the most, who throws the most, what's the most best? That's not right. The bestest? No, that's not right either. Who is the most exciting passer in women's college basketball? You cannot name somebody else. You cannot name someone. There's no one else on anybody's team that is a more exciting passer than Raven Johnson. No one. So, yeah, go. These are my predictions for Raven Johnson right here. Offensively, since offensively, that's what we're going to hear about. You want to hear about offense. Raven's going to average about 12, 13 points a game. She's going to average about 12, 13 points a game. She's going to average about 7 assists a game. She's going to average about 2 steals. And she's going to play lockdown defense. That's what Raven Johnson is going to do. She's going to improve on the free throw line. She's going to improve on the three-point line. But I do not want Raven Johnson shooting 5, 6 3-pointers a game. I want her to be a threat. That's all I want. But you know why? Because we have a TeHina Paopao who will shoot the 3. We have a Tessa Johnson who will shoot the 3. We have a Malaysia Fulwiler who will shoot the 3. We have a Bree Hall who will shoot the 3. Raven Johnson's game is getting it to the playmakers and scoring. Now, she can score the ball. She did it at an amazing rate in high school. If you don't believe me, Google her, YouTube her. You will see it, and you will see it this year. The revenge tour is on and popping. Is it better to be hunted or be the hunter? The Gamecocks have been hunted for many years now, several years. But going into this season, they are the hunter. They are the hunter. They are going after teams. It starts with Notre Dame. It starts with Notre Dame. Notre Dame and Paris will be the first test for the Gamecocks, the newfangled Gamecocks. Be the first test. It will be the first appearance of a Bree Hall playing multiple minutes. It'll be the first appearance of a Sania Feigin playing multiple minutes. It'll be the first appearance of TeHina Paopao in a garnet and black uniform. There's going to be a lot of moving pieces going in early in the season. The exhibition, but prior to the season actually starting, will be telling to see how some of these matchups are going to happen before we play a Notre Dame, before we get into the meat of the schedule. Because the schedule is tough, because the Gamecocks always play a tough schedule. UConn is coming to Colonial Life Arena. Maryland is coming to Colonial Life Arena. We're going to LSU. The schedule is what it is. But the Gamecocks has always stepped up and showed out. The Revenge Tour is happening for the Gamecocks, but specifically Raven Johnson, because when she also told me, Captain Will, that social media is mean. And I know this firsthand. Social media is mean. But when you are being mean to some young girls who has nothing to do with whatever you're talking about, but just being the sake of being mean and going after these young ladies because of the way they look, or because of the way they dress, or because of the way they wear their hair, is wrong. That is wrong. So we see the basketball. We see the media situation, and see them answering questions. We see all that. But for every top team in the country, and I'm talking about the LSUs, I'm talking about the UConns, the Notre Dames, the Dukes, the North Carolinas, all these top teams in the country, the Tennessees, all these top teams in the country. At the end of the day, these are young ladies, and they go back to their lives, and they go back to school, and they have to deal with the stuff they see on social media. They have to deal with it. They have to live their life. But these are babies. These are babies. I have a kid who runs track for D1. I know specifically that these are babies dealing with stuff. These are not robots. They have feelings. And some of these things affected these ladies during the season. They did. You know how much pressure they were on during this season to go undefeated, where they had to play perfect every game, and the game they did not play perfect, they lost that game and couldn't go to the national championship to defend that national championship. The worst game the Gamecocks played was against Iowa, and it was right before the championship game. They're not perfect. They're not perfect. They dealt with a lot during the season to be perfect and came close. They came close. Now going into this season, the hunter, because they're ranked 7th or 8th in the ESPN, not so early, however they want to claim it, however Charlie Cream want to say it, rankings. So the expectation for the Gamecocks outside of Columbia is lower, because they're expecting LSU and UConn in the championship game. They're not. Nobody's outside of South Carolina. Nobody is saying that South Carolina will be in the final four or win the championship. Nobody. So going into these games this season as the hunter, I think to me is going to be fun, because this will be the first time in several years that the Gamecocks will go to some of these games as an underdog. When is the last time that happened? I'll wait. It's been a long time. Been a long time. But see, being counted out and being counted on are two separate things. Gamecocks are counted out right now by national media. Counted out national media because we're returning no starters. None. Not one starter. We ain't returning no starters. So on the outside looking in, a team like LSU, we're returning player of the year, and they got Haley Van Lith coming in, and they got the #1 recruiting class and all that. They are supposed to win, so they're going to have that pressure this year. Kim Mulkey going to have that pressure to deliver this year. She is supposed to win a championship. UConn, Gino is going to have that pressure this year, because they're supposed to win a championship with Paige and with Fudd back. They're supposed to win a championship. South Carolina's playing with house money because we're not supposed to win a championship because we lost all starters. We lost all the starters. Outside looking in, we ain't supposed to be there. This is supposed to be a down year for head coach Don Staley. This is supposed to be a down year. But here's a surprise. It ain't going to be a down year. It ain't going to be a down year. The surprise will happen early in the season when we beat up on a team that we're not supposed to beat up on. And then the national media will start shifting. Like, damn, Don Staley really can coach. Damn, Don Staley really can recruit. Because the Gamecocks aren't going anywhere. Even with the Asia Fudd and a Paige Beckers are returning, who we beat down 4 out of the last 5 times. Even with LSU having the dream team. And on paper, they are an amazing, amazing team. I cannot deny that. It is going to be, watching LSU and how they put these pieces together is going to be must-see TV. Must-see TV. And when they play South Carolina at LSU, it's going to have to be prime time. It has to have game day there. It has to have your boy Captain Will there. It has to have so many things. I'm talking about McCarroll Peck and just so many things. That's how it's supposed to be for women's basketball. That will be the marquee game of the year. Second of which, when we play UConn at Columbia, that's going to be the second marquee game of the year. But going into both of those games, LSU will be favored. UConn will be favored. But being the hunter instead of the hunted is just how we like it this year. Just how we like it this year. Because we're not supposed to be there according to the national media. I know it's August the 19th. I know it's a Saturday. I know it's hot outside. But you know what? I'm fired up today. I'm fired up today because I just hear, even though we don't play for a while, we don't play for 3 months, 2.5 months. We don't play for a lot. What month? August, September, October, November. We don't play for 2.5 months. I just hear the stuff about USC and how people trying to do the get back against us. But I'm here to tell you, the get back ain't gonna happen. Get back ain't gonna happen because the Gamecocks will be fine. The Gamecocks will be great. The Gamecocks will be dominant yet once again. This ain't no different than what's happened in the past before. Ain't no different when we had Asia, we had Kiki, we had Ty Harris. Ain't no different. Players change with USC, but we always have another McDonald's All-American to fill the space. We lost Aaliyah Boston. Great, dominant player for years and years. Sania Feigin is way to return. Time for her to step up and be that baller. We lost Zaya Cook. Went to the W. Time for TeHina Paopao transfer to come and do her thing. The head of the snake is Raven Johnson. Head of the snake is Raven Johnson. And how this season goes will be determined by Raven Johnson. Raven Johnson has a great year. Mark my word. Listen to me clear. If Raven Johnson has a great year this year, when I say great, I'm talking about all SEC type year. This year, the Gamecocks will be in the Final Four. Book it. Done. And I have all the faith in the world in Raven Johnson leading the Gamecocks to the Final Four this year. This concludes another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I'm your boy, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. The Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will, so I continue to bring you that gospel of Gamecocks every single day. You are now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your boy, Captain Will. Let's go!